Hi, my name is Ryan Griffin, and we're here at Inspire Strength and Fitness in Manchester, New Hampshire. And today's video is going to be about why mobility. So we have 3 reasons as to why mobility today. The first is going to be functional mobility. Just everyday needs of life, things like bending down, touching your toes, being able to pick something up off the ground, being able to put it up onto a shelf, or more relatable to parents, if you have your child in a stroller or in a grocery cart, taking that child from the cart, taking the child, putting it into the back of your vehicle, things like this are just your everyday needs of life as to things that we have requiring mobility from our body. So, next reason for mobility is more metabolically active tissue. A lot of my clients that I see are weight loss clients or trying to lose weight. And if you are tight through your joints, your hips, your shoulders, your core, you're not going to be expending as many calories should those joints move a lot better. So, just as an example, I'm just going to use our squat as an example as to why mobility is important. If my hips don't move well, and I go into my squat, I get bound up, what I see a lot of is people will then bend over, and they're not doing their squat, or they come here, they get stuck, their knees come in, because we don't have that mobility in our hips to be able to get down into our good squat. When I get down into my good squat, I flex my hip a lot more, I get some activation out of my hamstrings, and then my glutes and quads push me back up to be able to stand back up. So as I go through a greater range of motion, I use more muscles and I expend greater calories than if my hips were locked up, preventing me from going through the full range of motion. So, number 2, we get more metabolically active tissue, more calories burned, more progress in your program. Number 3 is performance. So, if my hips are tight, I'm obviously not going to be able to squat the same amount of weight should I be able to get down into my squat and stand all the way back up. So if my hips are tight, I'm not going to have the same assistance from the other hip flexors and everything else that's going to help boost me up in my squat because I can't even get into my posture. Or, how it relates to sport, I'll use golf as an example. Golf is a very rotational sport, and we're using a lot of different joints in the sport as I go through the movement. So if my hips are tight in my swing, I'm coming back, and as I come through my swing, I'm rotating through my hips. But if this hip is tight, I'm only going to get a little bit of movement. I'm not going to have the same power that if my hips can actually come through the full range of motion. So just to give a quick recap as to our 3 needs for mobility. Number 1, we have functional. 2, we have a greater metabolically active component to our weight loss programs. And 3, we have performance. So functional, more metabolically active tissue, and 3 is high performance with more mobility in your program.